Hi kiddos. So loads of you have been asking me about this question number 2 on the first paper you guys are going to take on Monday. This is a straight line graph question, y equals to mx plus c. So let's have a look at it together and hopefully this will make a bit of sense. So the question says the graph gives the values of y for values of x from 0 to 8, and part A1 is asking me to give an interpretation of the intercept of the graph on the y-axis. So first of all, I obviously have to find the intercept. So I do that by following the line and checking where it meets the y-axis. So for me, that point is going to be here. And from what I can read on this graph is going to be 0.5 or half, whatever you guys want to call it. So that's the y-intercept of this line. Now let's give it an interpretation. So what the examiner is expecting you to say is that when the value of x is 0, because you're not going any along, so the value of x is 0, the value of y is 0.5 or a half. So if I record this, I'm going to say, so when x equals to 0, y equals to 1 over 2. So that's it, that's part A1. So part A2 is asking me to give an interpretation of the gradient of the graph. So first of all, obviously you have to work out the gradient of this graph. So to do that, because this is a non-calculator paper, I would suggest you guys choose some whole number points. So for example, in this one, I'm going to choose the point 1, 2. It's definitely on the line, and it's a whole number coordinate. And the second point I'm going to choose is 3, 5. Again, it's another whole number coordinate, so both the x and y coordinates are whole numbers. So I can easily work with them without a calculator. So there's two ways to do this. Hopefully going to show you both ways. So one of them is to work out the gradient by using the formula, which is m, or the gradient is equal to the difference in y over the difference in x. So you've got your 2 points. We said one of them is 1, 2. So, and the second one is 3, 5. So I label my points and I go x1, y1, x2, y2. The order doesn't matter as long as you're consistent. And I substitute in the formula. So m is equal to the difference in y. So I'm going to do 2 minus 5 over 1 minus 3. So 2 minus 5 is minus 3. 1 minus 3 is minus 2. So if I divide them, if I think about minus divided by minus is plus, that means minus 3 is going to be a positive. So I've got 3 over 2 as a final answer for the gradient. Another way to do it is to do it by inspection. So you basically want to have a look at how many units you're going up or in a y direction and how many units you're going across or in an x direction to form that triangle here. So there you go. Okay, so now let's count the units. So we've got 1, 2, 3, because on the y-axis every 5 squares represents 1 unit. And if I go on the x-axis, I notice that every 10 squares represents 1 unit. So I've only got 2 units here. So it's still 3 over 2. So it depends what the graph is like, but you can hopefully use either method. Okay, so the gradient, final answer, 3/2. Okay, so it says to give an interpretation of the gradient. In order to do that, we have to basically bring it to a unitary fraction, so make it over 1. So to do that, we're going to divide numerator and denominator by 2. So I've got 3 divided by 2 is 1.5. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So this is going to help me interpret it. So basically what this means is that for every 1 unit, you go in a positive x direction, your y is going to increase, or is going to go up 1.5. So let's commit that to paper. So for every 1 unit, you go in a positive x direction. Your y value increases by 1.5. Okay, and that's what they expect for you to say. And if I look closer at my graph, you're going to see this is true. So this is my 1 unit. And if I now want to go up, I would have to go half and then 1. So there you go. It's basically you're just describing what's happening to the gradient. Okay, so the last bit is saying find the equation of the straight line in the form y equals 2mx plus c. We've already done the hard work. We've worked out m, which we said is 3/2, and we've worked out the c, which we just read the y coordinate where the line hits the y-axis, so that's a half. And now we just have to substitute them in the formula y equals mx plus c. Remember, the y and the x are just coordinates, so when you're doing the formula they stay the same. So my y is going to equal to m, which is the 3/2. Write down my x because that stays the same for now, unless I have to substitute any coordinates, but for now I don't need that. And then my c is equal to positive 1/2, because the point of intersection with the y-axis is on the positive side of the y-axis, so that's a plus. So I just go plus 1/2. And that's my final answer. So you guys, I hope this helps. Just revise loads for Monday, and the very best of luck. Bye.